Hello friends, good morning, and we are back again with our consumer rights. And the other day we saw that government has made information available to citizens about the government departments and other sectors as well. So we have several rights which we are unaware of, which we are not even bothered to inquire and find out. But those who are aware about it, they don't fall into it. They are not being cheated. They are able to demand compensation for the mistake that is done to them and so on. So let us see today, if our choice is denied, what are our options? What are the options that are before us? Let's see the case of a girl called Abhirami. So Abhirami, a student of Ansar Nagar, joined a 2-year course at a local coaching institute for professional courses in New Delhi. So she went to the college to study a professional course. And at the time of joining the course, she paid the fee of 61,020 rupees at lump sum for the entire course of 2 years. So she paid this amount by lump sum. That means a single time payment. She paid the entire amount for the course which is lasting for 2 years. However, she decided to opt out of the course at the end of the 1 year, as she found that the quality of teaching was not up to the mark. And so her course is supposed to last for 2 years, and after 1 year she found the teaching is not up to the mark, the quality is not up to the mark. Therefore she decided that she will stop going to there. But remember, she had already paid the fees for 2 years. So, however, when she asked for a refund of the fee for 1 year, it was denied to her. So she asked the college to give back her money for 1 year. She attended class only for 1 year, so the second year's money can be refunded. But the college refused. When she filed a case in the district consumer court, the court directed the institute to refund 28,000, saying that she had the right to choose. So the court said she had the right to choose whether to continue study or not. So if she choose not to study second year, then the college has to give back the money. That is what they said. So the institute again appealed in the state consumer commission. So the college was not willing to give the money. So they went to higher court to appeal against that. The state commission upheld the district court's direction and further fined the institute 25,000 for a frivolous appeal. So the state commission was said what the district court gave the verdict, that is correct. She should be given 28,000 rupees back. And the court was angry with the college for such a simple silly things they are filing appeal. Therefore you have to pay an extra fine of 25,000 more. So college had to pay 25,000 more extra. So the district court told them to pay 28,000. Now the state court told them pay 28,000 plus 25,000 fine. So total will be 53,000 rupees. So the college was losing. And it also directed the institute to pay rupees 7,000 as compensation and litigation costs. Again 7,000 more they had to pay as an expense for the compensation for her to go up and down filing cases, all that. So total the college had to pay 60,000 rupees. So the college was losing. So the state commission also restrained all the educational and professional institutions in the state from charging fees from students for the entire duration of the course in advance, and that too at one go. And any violation of this order may invite penalties and imprisonment, the commission said. So Commission also made it an opportunity to inform every institution, every other institution in the country, that they should not collect the money for the whole year or for the whole course. If it is a 2-year course, they should not take the entire money in the beginning. They should take it installment wise. If it is for 3 years, make it many installments and should be paid only slowly in installments, not at a stretch. So some colleges were doing that, and so the court gave warning to them, and they should not repeat it, otherwise they will have to face the action. So that is another consumer right. We have the right to get back the money for which she did not study. So what do we understand from this incident? Any consumer who receives a service in whatever capacity, regardless of age, gender and nature of service, has the right to choose whether to continue to receive that service. So in the case of this Abhirami, she had the right to choose whether she continued to receive education or not. She had the right. So in the beginning she decided to receive for 2 years and she paid the money also. But afterwards she decided that 1 year is enough, second year I don't need. Therefore she had the right to choose and get back the money that she had paid extra. Suppose you want to buy toothpaste and the shop owner says that she can sell the toothpaste only if you buy a toothbrush. If you are not interested in buying the toothbrush, your right to choice is denied. Similarly, sometimes gas supply leaders insist that you have to buy a stove from them when you take a new connection. In this way, many a times you are forced to buy things that you may not wish to, and you are left with no choice. So this kind of cases, many times we are affected. Sometimes when we go to the shop, you buy a Colgate or a toothpaste, and the shopkeeper will say, toothpaste alone I will not sell. If you buy one toothbrush also, then together with that I will sell toothpaste. So that is injustice, because you have the choice whether you want to buy toothpaste or toothbrush. So nobody can force you to buy. Or some places when we buy LPG gas or when you apply for a new connection, they will say, if you buy a stove also, I will give you the gas, otherwise we will not give. Or it is compulsory you have to buy a stove also. So they are trying to sell more product at your expense, and so your freedom of choice is denied. So that is not okay. You will be able to go and complain to the consumer court, and you will be your right to choice will be protected. Then, where should consumers go to get justice? So if you are met with injustice, then where should you go to get justice? So read again the case of Reggie Matthew and Abhirami given earlier in the chapter. So we saw 2 examples how people who were affected because of others' mistake and how did they get compensation. So these are some examples in which consumers are denied their rights, and such instances occur quite often in our country. Where should these consumers go to get justice? So when such kind of injustice is done in our country, where do the people go to get justice? Consumers have the right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices and exploitation. So the consumers have the right to seek redressal. Redressal means the compensation to get their grievances heard, and they can get compensation for the exploitation that they have faced. And if any damage is done to a consumer, she has the right to get compensation depending on the degree of damage. There is a need to provide an easy and effective public system by which this can be done. So in our country, every citizen is protected, and if they are faced with injustice, discrimination, corruption and so on, they have every right to approach the consumer court and get the compensation that is required. If the damage that they have suffered is quite high, then certainly they will get compensation. If it is a very minor case or minor compensation, then we need not to proceed, because the court expenses will be higher than the compensation that you get. So you will be ending at a loss. So that you should be careful. And you might be interested in knowing how an aggrieved person gets his or her compensation. So aggrieved means affected person, how to get his or her compensation. Let us take the case of Prakash. He had sent a money order to his village for his daughter's marriage. The money did not reach his daughter at the time when she needed it, nor did it reach and months later. Prakash filed a case in the district level consumer court in New Delhi, and all the steps he undertook are illustrated here. So let us see how this man Prakash is going around demanding justice for his delay in service. So his daughter was getting married and he sent a money order. You know money order, I hope. The money sent by post office is called money order. This short form it is called EMO. So nowadays very few people are using money order facility, because now online transaction, online transfer of money, everything is possible. But in olden times, when there was no much bank and online services, people used to send money by MO or money order. It will be carried by the postman and it will be delivered to the specific person. So here let us see the storyboard. The first one, Prakash goes to the post office to send money order to his daughter. Then second, Prakash comes to know that money has not reached his daughter. So he rings up to his daughter and she says she has not received the money. Then Prakash inquires about the money order in the post office. So he goes to the post office, meets the officer and inquires about it. The post officer does not respond to the query satisfactorily. So they are not explaining whether money has reached or not, what happened, no proper explanation. Therefore, Prakash goes to the local Consumer Protection Council for advice. So he goes there and they will tell him, they told him what he has to do, how he has to file petition and so. So there is a form is given to him. So he fills up that form and he submits and he registers his case. Then he himself pleads the case in the court. So the court is calling him and he is going there and explaining what happened, how it happened and so on. The court judge verifies the document. So the judge will see whether he has really sent the money order or not. The receipt will be there. So which date it was sent, when it was supposed to be delivered. So all the detail the court will check and the judge will give the verdict that he should be given compensation. His money should be returned, and for the delay in service, for the failure in service, he should be paid compensation. That will be the judgment, the result. So the consumer movement in India has led to information of various organizations locally known as consumer forums or consumer protection council. So there are so many associations or so many offices are there in order to protect the rights of the citizens, and some places it is known as consumer forums or some places it is known as consumer protection councils. They guide consumers on how to file cases in the consumer court, and on many occasions they also represent individual consumers in the consumer courts. So very often we are not aware about the procedure, how to proceed, and therefore if you go to these consumer protection councils, they will explain to us, they will help us how to fill up the form, where to submit the form in the complaint, and so we will get a lot of information. So these people are there to help us. So do not be afraid, do not be worried, but they are ready to help us. And these voluntary organizations also receive financial support from the government for creating awareness among the people. So these organizations, they receive help from the government. Government give them certain fund so that they can conduct courses, seminars to make the people aware about their rights and so on. So government is really interested that all the people in this country should be aware about their rights and they should stand for their rights, and nobody should be cheated or nobody should be suffering from injustice and so on. And if you are living in a residential colony, you might have noticed name boards of resident welfare association. Sometimes where there are a lot of house villas are there, flats are there, and all the houses joined together, they form the association called Residential Welfare Association. If you go to the town and so you will find. Then if there is any unfair trade practice meted out to their members, they take up a case on their behalf. So if any member of that association, welfare association, then everybody join together in the name of that association, they file the case in the police station or in the consumer court. So as I said in the previous class, unity is strength. Therefore, people like to form association. Instead of fighting individually, they fight as a group, as an association, so that it will be stronger. Then under COBRA, we said about COBRA. What is a COBRA? We said in the previous class that the Consumers Protection Act that was passed by the government in which year? 1986. So that Consumers Protection Act, that is COBRA, under this COBRA, a three-tier quasi-judicial machinery at the district, state and national levels was set up for redressal of communal disputes. So under this law, it is a rule that there should be a machinery, there should be a system at the district level, state level and national level. So just like district court, high court, supreme court, this consumer court also should be a three-tier. There should be three level. So in one place if we are rejected, we can go to a higher level. Then the district level court deals with the cases involving claims up to rupees 20 lakhs. So if there is any problem that you are really faced, then you can claim the compensation. So if your claim is up to 20 lakhs, then you can go to the district court. And if it is more than 20 lakhs and up to 1 crore, then we can go to the state level court. And if it is more than 1 crore, then you can go to the national level. So according to the seriousness of the mistake or the case, whether it is below 20 lakhs or if it is below 1 crore or if it is above 1 crore, then the three levels can be made use. If a case is dismissed in district level court, the consumer can also appeal in state and then in national level courts. So if a case is dismissed in district level court, the consumer can also appeal in the state and then national level. So suppose yours is only 20 lakhs case and you go to the district court. The district court does not give you a favorable verdict. So then doesn't matter, your amount is low, but you can go to the state court. If the state court is rejecting, you can go to national court. So there is provision is there. So that is all we can do. Then thus the Act has enabled us as consumers to have the right to represent the consumer court. So it has helped us to stand for our rights and represent the consumer's court. Then let us see about another case, that is learning to become well-informed consumers. How to be a well-informed consumer. So when we as consumers become conscious of our rights while purchasing various goods and services, we will be able to discriminate and make informed choices. So we should have certain informations. So we should have knowledge. Then only we can purchase things. Otherwise what happen? you will be cheated. You will not be looking for the correct thing. You will be buying the duplicate things and so on. So we can be cheated if we are not well informed. This calls for acquiring the knowledge and the skill to become a well-informed consumer. Therefore, we should have proper information, proper knowledge about the things that we are going to buy. How do we become conscious of our rights? Look at the posters on the right and in the previous page. What do you think? So the posters you can see here, it is given there. What are the posters telling? It is speaking about the quality of the things and so on. So it is also here you will find the shops also. If you go, you will find a lot of advertisements are given there and so on. So we need to check and clarify whether all that information given there are true or not. So the enactment of COBRA has led to the setting up of separate departments of consumer affairs in central and state governments. So under this COBRA, it is mandatory that government should set up courts. They should set up departments in order to give solution to the problems of the consumers and so on, the state level and in the national level. Then the posters that you have seen are one example through which government spread information about legal process which people can use. You might also be seeing such advertisements on television channels. So government give advertisement in the TV. You must have seen Jaho Grahat Jaho. That is awake consumer, be awake about awake and be aware about your rights. So you can see the advertisement or the information that is given to the consumer by the government through advertisement. These advertisements are very often published in the posters or in the films or in the TV and so on. So we need to read it nicely. We need to be aware about what are the rights that government is giving us, what are the protection that government is giving us, and we have to make sure all that is available to us. Now let us see about ISI mark and UG mark. So when you buy certain things, you must have noticed this. It is written there ISI. So it is a mark of quality. Let's see what it is. So while buying many commodities, on the cover you might notice a logo with a letter ISI, UG mark or hallmark and so on. So these are some of the marks that are given on the product. Sometimes it will be written ISI, or sometimes it will be written UG mark or hallmark and so on. These logos and certification help consumers get assured of quality while purchasing the goods and services. The organizations that monitor and issue these certificates allow producers to use their logos provided they follow certain quality standards. So if you find a product having a label or a logo written ISI or UG mark or hallmark, it shows that this thing is of a good quality. And so there are certain companies are there which are checking the quality of the products. So if these qualities are checked and found to be true, then they will give this logo. Okay, this is ISI certified, or it is UG mark certified, or it is hallmark certified. So that means consumer can be little more confident in buying those things. That is of good quality. It is already checked. That is the meaning of it. So though these organizations develop quality standards for many products, it is not compulsory for all the producers to follow standards. However, for some products that affect the health and safety of consumers or of products of mass consumption like LPG cylinders, food colors and additives, cement, packaged drinking water, it is mandatory on the part of the producers to get certified by these organizations. So for all the things that are produced, It may not be easy, it may not be possible to go and get certificate from these companies. But the essential things that we are using, like the LPG cylinder, they have to get certificate from this one of these companies. It is mandatory. Or other things like the food colors that we use, the things that we buy, packaged food or the junk food, they add a lot of colors there. So they should get certificate from this company to prove that the color that is used in this food is not harmful to the health. They have to certify. Or the cement, then the package, the drinking water, bottled water, mineral water. So all these companies, it is compulsory that they have to test their products and prove that their things are checked by these companies and it is certified. Then let us see, taking the consumer movement forward. What can we do to carry forward this consumer movement? So India has been observing 24 December as a National Consumers Day. We can underline which day is considered as a National Consumers Day in India. Which is the day? December 24 every year. And it was on this day that the Indian Parliament enacted the Consumer Protection Act in 1986. So what is the reason behind choosing this December 24 as a National Consumers Day? It is because we said about a law that was passed in the Parliament called Cobra in 1986. So it was on this day that law was passed in the Parliament. So the anniversary of this law, that is 24th of every year, is celebrated as National Consumers Day. Then India is one of the countries that have exclusive courts for consumer redressal. So we can be proud about our country, that our country is one of such country where these consumer courts are available to solve, to listen to the problems of the consumers. And the consumer movement in India has made some progress in terms of numbers of organized groups and their activities. There are today more than 700 consumer groups. So far now in India we have more than 700 consumer groups are there. And which is only about 20 to 25 are well organized and recognized for their work. So though there are 700 plus consumer groups are there, most of them are inactive. They are just for namesake existing, and very few, that means 20 to 25 of them are functioning very well. They are very active, they are helping the consumers, trying to go to the court, help them and so on. So a lot of these works are being done only by a few organizations. Not majority of them are very inactive and you can say half dead, or they are just remaining for namesake only. Then, however, the consumer redressal process is becoming cumbersome. Cumbersome means burdensome. It has become very difficult or very hard, not that easy. And also it is expensive to go to the court. You have to pay to the advocate, you have to pay to the court, you have to meet the other expenses. So it is not that easy to go to the court. Lot of expenses, difficulties, hardships are there, and also it is time consuming. So we cannot just go and say your case and come away. Court may call you again and again for hearing. Therefore it is time consuming also. So many a time consumers are required to engage lawyers, and the cases require time for filling and attending the court proceedings, etc. So we have to hire a lawyer, we have to pay his fees, and we have to go to the court several times. And in most purchases, cash memos are not issued, hence evidence is not easy to gather. And sometimes when we go and buy things, we don't insist on cash memo. We just pay the money and buy the thing and come away. So we must insist on buying, taking the cash memo. So that is a proof that you have bought this thing on such and such day from this shop. So that is a proof, and that has to be kept safe. If we have lost that one, the shopkeeper can simply say, I have not sold this thing, it is not from my shop. Then you will be in trouble and you will not get any compensation. So we have to be careful when we buy this kind of costly things, essential things, and so on. And moreover, most purchases in the market are small retail sales, and the existing laws are not very clear on the issue of compensation to consumers injured by defective products. So sometimes we buy some electronic things, and while using it, it blasts and the person gets injured. Therefore, we can file complaint against that company about that product, the defect of that product, and get compensation. But we have to make sure that we have got the receipt, what you bought it, when it was bought, and what are the conditions of using, did you observe all those conditions, all that matters. Then after 20 years of the enactment of COBRA, consumer awareness in India is spreading but slowly. So this law has been introduced in India in 1986. So now it's already 24 years now. So not 24, 34 years now. So even after this 34 years, we can say the awareness among the people, among the common people, it is not much. It is spreading very slowly. So people are not much bothered about their rights. They just pay money and buy the thing, whether it is lasting or not lasting, they don't care. They are just casually handling it. So that way the producers take advantage. They know that people will not complain, therefore they continue to provide things that are of low quality and causing a lot of accidents to the people, injuries to the people, and so on. And besides this, the enforcement of law that protect workers, then especially in the unorganized sectors, is weak. So the law to protect the rights of the workers also is very weak in our country. And similarly, rules and regulations for working of markets are often not followed. So there are a lot of rules and regulations are there, how the market should function, how clean it should be remain, what are the things it can be sold, how long, how many days it can be kept. All those rules are there, but very often the people who are responsible to check all these laws, they are not checking it, and they continue to cause harm to the consumers. So we should say the government departments, they should act with more interest to protect the consumers, and they should do their duty properly. Whatever may be the objections from the manufacturers, they should do their duty, because it is their right to protect the life of the consumers. And nevertheless, there is scope for consumers to realize their role and importance. It is often said that consumer movement can be effective only with the consumer's active involvement. So only if the consumers are active, this consumers movement can move forward. If you are cheated or if you are facing injustice, you should have the courage to stand up and speak. If you say, oh, what to do, I shall accept it. If you say like that, then nobody will come to help you. So you should take the issue forward, and there are so many offices, consumer associations are there to help you. And so with everybody's help, you can fight your case and you will certainly get justice. So you should have that willingness, that courage, and so on. And it is often said that consumer movements can be effective only with the consumer's active involvement. And it requires a voluntary effort and struggle involving the participation of one and all. So as I said, it is time consuming and it is expensive and it is also a difficult process. So you should have that willingness to undergo the difficulties for the sake of helping yourself and also helping others. Then only you will be able to check that corruption in the society. You will be able to protect the consumers, other consumers as well. And when we join together, no force can defeat us. As I said in the previous class, unity is strength. So be aware about your rights and stand for your rights, and then nobody can defeat you. So if you think about the difficulties and hardships and withdraw yourself, then nobody is going to come forward, nobody is going to help you, and you will be the one, the loser. So I wish and pray that all will have that courage to stand for your right, stand for the truth, and do well in your society. Be a leader in the society, be an example for the other consumers in the society. So we come to the end of this lesson. Our syllabus as well, it is over, and let us do some exercise that is given at the end of this lesson. So the exercises, the question answers, I will send it to you later. Then you can see question number 12. Match the following. So availing details of ingredients of a product. So what is the correct answer that is matching? What is matching for number 1? Availing details of ingredients of a product, that is right to information, number E. Then second, Agmark. What is Agmark? It is certification of edible oil and cereals. Agmark is certification of non-edibles and cereals. Then accident due to faulty engine of a scooter. What will it be? It will be right to safety, number A. Then number 4, District Consumer Court. What is the answer? District Consumer Court, dealing with consumer cases, number B, dealing with consumer cases. Then number 5, Consumers International, and answer is the last one, Global Level Institution of Consumer Welfare Organization. Then number 6, Bureau of Indian Standards. What is the left one? Number D, agency that develops standards for goods and services. I hope you got all in. Then see number 13, say true or false. Cobra applies only to goods. Is it true or false? It is false. Cobra applies to all the rights of the consumers. Then second one, India is one of the many countries in the world which has exclusive courts for consumer redressal. That is true. We said India is well ahead in comparing to other countries. Then number 3, when a consumer feels that he has been exploited, he must file a case in the district consumer court. True or false? True. He should file a case. So number 4, it is worthwhile to move to consumer court only if the damage incurred are of high value. So if you buy a thing which is costing 5 rupees and you are cheated, then you go to the consumer court claiming compensation, and you have to pay thousands of rupees. You have to pay lawyer's fee, you have to pay court fee, you have to waste your time, and at the end what compensation you will get? 5 rupees. So you will be the loser. So the value should be of high, then only it is worth going to the court. So that is true. Number 5, hallmark is the certification maintained for standardization of jewelry. That is true. So all the jewelry should get certificate from hallmark. Then number 6, the consumer redressal process is very simple and quick. No, it is false. It is very time consuming. A consumer has the right to get compensation depending on the degrees of the damage. Yes, that is true. So according to the damage that he suffered, he will be getting the compensation also. So then there are other projects are there. You can just read through and see. And there is a little homework is there for you to do. So there are questions are there. 17 questions are there. You read and see. There are 3 options are there. A, B, C. You see what is applicable in your case and tick that one. So just see the first one. When you buy some item, do you insist on a bill? So you go to a shop, your parents are sending you to a shop to buy something. So after buying, do you ask the shopkeeper to give me the bill or the cash memo? If you are always taking cash memo from the shopkeeper, tick A. Sometimes you take, sometimes you are very busy, say, oh, okay, today no need a cash memo. Then if that is your attitude, then tick B. Or if you are never taking cash memo, whether the shopkeeper is free also, not free also, you never take. If that is your attitude, tick C. So you read all these questions and see what is your attitude. If A, tick A. If B means B, C means C. Then at the end you can see the results. They have given what is the point. Question number 5, 12, 13, 15 and 16 are C, and for the rest A. So that is are C, which is the correct one is C, and all the rest are A. So if your answers are A for questions number 5, 12, 13, 15 and 16, and the rest are C, then you have to wake up as consumer. So if that is your answers, so then you need to wake up. You are a sleeping consumer. And if your answer is B for all the questions, then you are somewhat aware. So if your many B's are there, then somewhat you are a good consumer. Otherwise you are a sleeping consumer. You need to wake up and know what are your rights. So I hope and wish that you all will be a consumer with proper knowledge, with awareness and demand to claim for your rights. Don't just be a sleeping consumer. So wish you all the best and thank you for listening for all these days. And we have come to the conclusion and completed the syllabus. And so I wish you all the best. And the next class we shall study about geography. And see you next day. Bye.